Superman. A symbol of hope that throughout the years has been adapted countless, and I mean countless times to the big screen. But after watching all of Superman's movies out there, again, I've come to the conclusion that there is an adaptation in particular that is very underrated, and that, to me at least, is the best adaptation of the character for the big screen. So, as you have already seen in the title of this video, I'm talking about Zack Snyder's Man of Steel. I've heard some people say that adapting Superman is like trying to adapt Jesus, and let me tell you, that is not an entirely crazy affirmation. The hardest part about adapting Superman is trying to tell an interesting plot while at the same time keeping the character's essence intact. Why? Because Superman is basically perfect, and an interesting plot requires conflict, and therefore imperfection. He is the archetype of superheroes, and that's what makes sometimes people, I don't know, expect the impossible from him and his writers. So how do you create an interesting, relatable Superman story? Simple. You make him imperfect. The more you stick to the original version of Superman, the more difficult it becomes to write a captivating plot. An interesting story requires a part of the original Superman to be sacrificed: his perfection. So, whenever someone's writing a Superman story, the decision is almost always whether you prefer people hating on your story or people hating on your Superman. In this case, Zack went with the second option by humanizing Kal-El. From the very first moment of the movie, you can clearly see Zack's intentions of making Superman more human. For the first time, we see Kal's birth, with the purpose of making us see that he is not a deity, and like every human, he is born of his mother. This movie puts a big emphasis in showing us a more vulnerable side of the character that we hadn't seen in previous movies. Kal is the only natural birth among millions created by artificial population control, and that gives him freedom of choice, aspirations, and dreams. Unlike Zod, Kal is constantly having identity conflicts within him and longs for purpose, because he wasn't designed to fulfill any specific role like Zod was. But that's the price that comes with freedom. You have doubts and insecurities about your own decisions. Zod, on the other hand, does everything for his people and doesn't hesitate to take action, nor does he stop and questions them, because he is, in a way, programmed to fulfill the single purpose of ensuring the survival of his race.
My soul. That is what you have taken from me.
I mean, we can't really blame the guy, to be honest. Another element of the movie that I really liked that isn't really that relevant is the whole Kryptonian war sequence. This scene was something fresh and new that none of the other films ever included. The rest of the movies don't really show Krypton's political problems, and I just think it was a great addition. I seriously get the chills whenever I watch this scene with Hans Zimmer's score just blasting. It's just perfection. Throughout the whole movie, we dive into Clark's humanity and conflicts by seeing just how difficult it was for him to adapt to Earth's atmosphere, how hard it was for him to relate with other people, and how he thinks that something is wrong with him just because he is different. He even thinks his powers are a curse from God, and no other movie before this one had explored that perspective. He's constantly being mocked and bullied, and no one really pays attention to or cares about him other than his parents. And despite all that, he still puts others above himself. Even though he doesn't want his identity to be known, he chooses to save people, putting their lives over his own desires. Like the kids in the bus, his father, the oil rig workers, and Lois Lane. And because of that, he is constantly trying to change his identity because people hate what they don't understand, and they can't yet understand Superman. Even Cal hates himself because he doesn't even understand who he is, and that's why he'd rather be anyone but himself.
Where the hell they find you, Greenhorn?
This is a movie about finding purpose in who you are and finding joy and fulfillment as a person in that same purpose. Purpose is what gives our life meaning, and even Superman struggles to find it. You can see the joy he feels just by finding out what his real name is.
And Cal? That's my name.
Kal-El. It is.
You can only imagine how complete he feels once he finds out the reason why he was sent to Earth. This is a more realistic movie that tries to tell a different story for Superman that feels relatable, but overall hopeful to the audience.
You will give the people of Earth an ideal to strive towards. They will race behind you. They will stumble. They will fall. But in time, they will join you in the sun, Cal. In time, you will help them accomplish wonders.
Like the film established from the beginning, you have the freedom to choose to do good or bad.
You just have to decide what kind of man you want to grow up to be, Clark, because whoever that man is, good character or bad, he's going to change the world.
Despite your past and despite who you currently are, You choose who you want to be. At the end, Cal needs to choose between joining Zod and save his race or save humanity, and unlike Zod, he is free to make that decision. Everything that has been established throughout the movie makes this final fight ultimately more meaningful for both characters. Cal being the one who wants to be the bridge between two peoples, and Zod being designed to ensure the survival of the Kryptonians. No matter how badly Cal wants to get back together with his people, he chooses mankind and realizes that Krypton had its chance and now wants that same chance for humanity as well.
Stop! If you destroy this ship, you destroy Krypton! Krypton had its chance!
Even if that wasn't Jor-El's original intention, because his true purpose was always to have a free son. Then we come to a very controversial scene: Zod's death. People got really mad when they saw Superman, a character who never kills, kill his enemy in front of them. Many people just considered it outright disrespectful to the character, and I get that. I truly do. But like I said at the beginning of the video, this is Zack Snyder's attempt to humanize the character of Superman. And though Superman could have done many different things to stop Zod at that moment, Zack decided that he needed to kill him. Why? Because Zod's death is also a way of showing imperfection in the character. It's a reminder that sometimes in life, we'll face some ugly choices and we won't always choose the best thing to do. Like any human, Cal makes mistakes. Like any human, he feels regret. After that, well, the movie ends and not much happens. That's why I would like to talk about Snyder's second film in the DCEU. The way I see it, this movie adds so much more to the character of Superman on top of what had already been established in the first movie. This movie, like Man of Steel, remains a more realistic approach to the DC universe and continues to humanize the character of Kal-El. In this movie, we see the consequences of being an alien that Kal is constantly facing. As one would expect, he is the cause of division in the world and there are people who just hate him. Unlike Reeves' Superman, he is not accepted by most. He is hated and he still chooses to be the hero.
We have to understand that this is a paradigm shift. We have to start thinking beyond politics.
Are there any moral constraints on this person? We have international law. On this earth, every act is a political act.
Is it really surprising that the most powerful man in the world should be a figure of controversy?
To have an individual engaging in these state-level interventions should give us all pause.
Human beings have a horrible track record of following people of great power down paths that led to huge human atrocities.
We have always created icons in our own image. What we've done is we project ourselves onto him. The fact is, maybe he's not some sort of devil or Jesus character. Maybe he's just a guy trying to do the right thing.
We're talking about a being whose very existence challenges our own sense of priority in the universe. And you go back to Copernicus, where he restored the sun in the center of the known universe, displacing Earth. And you get to Darwinian evolution, and you find out we're not special on this Earth, we're just one among other life forms. And now we learn that we're not even special in the entire universe because there is Superman. There he is, an alien among us. We're not alone.
Are you, as a United States Senator, personally comfortable saying to a grieving parent, Superman could have saved your child, but on principle, we did not want him to act?
I'm not saying he shouldn't act. I'm saying he shouldn't act unilaterally.
What are we talking about here then? Must there be a Superman?
There is.
Christopher Reeve's Superman was cheered by everyone whenever he did something good. This Superman, on the other hand, does the right thing despite what everyone says about him, and he doesn't do it to get the praise. In fact, he is having such a hard time being Superman that he just starts wishing he could give up the cape. Much like in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2, he questions himself. Why does he do good? He tries so hard to continue to do things for the people of Earth, but how can you stay good in a world so wretched?
Superman was never real. Just the dream of a farmer from Kansas.
That farmer's dream is all some people have. It's all that gives them hope. This means something.
You did on my world. My world doesn't exist anymore.
Mark Waid, writer of stories like Kingdom Come and Superman Birthright, who is what you would call a true Superman scholar. Seriously, if Superman's in it, this man has probably watched it or read it. He was asked this very same seemingly simple question once when asked to write a comic to recreate the character. Why does Superman do good? His answer was pretty mediocre. Because it's the right thing to do, he said. Of course, he was not satisfied giving this answer, so he did a little more research, like every writer should, and came across the Maslow pyramid. The Maslow pyramid is a psychological theory formulated by Abraham Maslow in which he identifies 5 types of necessities that every person has. Those 5 types of needs from bottom to top are physiological, safety, love/belonging, esteem, and self-actualization. According to this theory, you need to satisfy the necessities of the bottom first so you can then satisfy the top needs. But since Superman is already perfect physically, he doesn't need to really satisfy the bottom needs because they are already satisfied. What then could he possibly need? Well, according to this theory, he needs to feel accepted and self-actualized so he can feel complete. He helps people in order to be accepted by them. He wants to be an ideal to strive towards, he wants to be a symbol of hope, he wants to be both of his father's dreams, but he has to earn that. He needs to earn people's trust, and that's something that no other Superman has had to worry about in previous live-action films. And he does that, eventually, by sacrificing himself. His fulfillment and self-actualization rely on putting everyone above himself. Everything that happens in these 2 movies are consequences of the character's actions, and though they are not consequences as big as, destroying the whole universe, they are so much more meaningful because of the emotional weight that comes with them, and because to the character, they are important. You might not agree with me in most of these things, but these 2 movies have become very significant in my life. It is because of these movies that I was able to empathize with a character that I hadn't empathized with before. These movies changed my mind from that character is so unreal to anyone can be Superman. It is because of this movie that Superman has become a symbol of hope in my personal life, the hope of being a better person tomorrow than what I am today. There's a quote that says that the two most important days in a person's life is when they are born and when they find out why they were born. I believe this movie represents that quote perfectly, and not only that, but it invites us to find out what that reason for our own existence is. No matter how long it takes, we need to keep searching for that meaning. Thanks guys for watching this video. Remember, if you liked it, please hit that like button, and if you want to see more content like this, subscribe to my channel because I will be uploading more videos like this one. And yeah, I guess that's it. Just know that that really helps a lot, and I would really appreciate that. Have a good one, guys.